This is Priya from Manaklu Nair Engineering College from CSE department, and I would like to participate in the DigiGuru competition. I have taken the topic interrupts of 8085 microprocessor and its classifications. So to start with, we have to understand what is an interrupt first. So it's a mechanism or a process which suspends the normal execution of the microprocessor and gets the attention to itself for the service to be done. That is, a microprocessor will be executing in its own way until an interrupt enters into it. When an interrupt enters into the microprocessor instruction, the microprocessor have to respond for that particular interrupt based upon the priority given to it. So that priority is based on the classification of the interrupts. So to understand what is interrupt and how to deal with the interrupts, we have to be aware of what are the classifications available in that particular interrupt. Okay, so for that, the major classification is dealt with hardware and software interrupts. Second one is vector and non-vector interrupts, and the third one is maskable and non-maskable interrupts. So to deal with hardware and software, the priority is given to the software interrupts, and then the hardware interrupts. And this vector and non-vector will be dealing with vector interrupts. Similarly, maskable and non-maskable, from the name itself we can infer that maskable can be delayed, whereas a non-maskable cannot be delayed. So the non-maskable have to be responded immediately when the interrupts arrives to that particular microprocessor instruction. So when we go for this hardware interrupts and software interrupts, this hardware interrupts is dealt by the 5 pins in your 8085 microprocessor. The 8085 pin diagram consists of 40 pins to be dealt with, but only 5 pins are mentioned for the interrupts. Major, first one is trap, the other 3 is dealt with RST 5.5, 6.5 and 7.5, and the 2 more is your INT-A and INT-R. Among the 4 pins, that is this trap. Trap is more prioritized interrupt pin which is used in 8085. So when the trap arrives, that is when an interrupt arrives from the trap pin, the microprocessor got no other go. It have to respond for that particular interrupt and then deal with the continuous process. Whereas if we get the interrupt from RST 5.5, RST 6.5 and 7.5, it can be maskable. Means it can be postponed or delayed to some extent, that we can continue the process we are doing and then deal with the other hardware interrupts which can sustain for few minutes. So it is not a serious issue if it is delayed. But if you're delaying or if you're postponing that interrupt received from the trap, it would cause a serious effect. So the interrupt issues are very important when we consider this hardware issues. When you're getting for trap, you have to maintain the trap interrupt first. So these are hardware. When you, apart from hardware, when you have software interrupt, you have to put a trap also on hold and deal with the software interrupt first. So this is the most prioritized interrupt given for the 8085 microprocessor. So then when we go for vector and non-vector, these are nothing but the vector interrupt is specialized for that purpose that it has the address along with the interrupt. It is not necessary for the processor to search for the address where the interrupt arises from. The vector interrupts provides the address of the service routine and with the interrupt arrive. So it has to service immediately along with the address. Whereas it's non-vectored, when you take, the address needs to be supplied externally by the device. So when you are getting along with the address and the problem, the microprocessor have to be readily deal with the this particular vectored interrupt. When you go for non-vector, the service routine need the address supplied externally by any device. So the interrupt is considered to be very emergency based upon the emergency signal, whether it is trap or software service. So other interrupts have to be can be masked. Masked means it is just maskable. It means it can be delayed and dealt later. That is the main thing. So for example,